Yes. Boss.
Good morning, sir.
Okay, that is good. Yes, I've been trying to log in. I think I just hope that today will be much better.
Yes, sir. We believe so. By God's grace.
Yes. Yeah, so I am Dr. Samuel Demenong, and I'll be taking the course with my co-facilitator, Professor I. Anonguku. Yeah, he's also supposed to join us. I don't know if he's here already. Yeah, but for now, yeah, I could see that we have Mina Philip T. Ajaka, we have Desmond Tafa, and who? Yeah, briefly, can we, for those of us that are here, can we please know ourselves?
Okay, sir.
Can we meet ourselves? Yes.
For me, I am Desmond Tafa Tiokra.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, nice meeting with you here.
Same here, sir.
Yes. Yeah.
Good morning, sir.
Next. Yeah, good morning.
Good morning, sir. Yes, sir. My name is Chairman John Ode.
Okay.
Yes.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
My name is Ajaka Godwin Sunday.
Okay. Godwin, you're welcome.
Good morning, sir.
Yeah, good morning.
Gina Teso Philip, your former course rep that year, sir.
Okay, me and Philip.
Yes, sir.
Oh, good to have you back here.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
Yeah. Welcome.
Good morning, sir.
Yeah, good morning.
Okay, I'm Olima Nyangbe Juliet.
Okay, Olima, you're welcome.
Thank you, sir.
Morning,
Good morning,
sir.
Yeah, good morning. Good morning.
Anastasia Gbamwa.
Okay, Cynthia Gbamwan.
Anastasia.
Oh, Anastasia Gbamwan.
Yes, sir.
Okay, you are welcome.
Thank you, sir.
Good morning, sir.
Yeah, good morning.
I am Yobe Sune Richard.
Yobe Sune Richard.
Yes, sir.
Okay, you are welcome.
Thank you, sir.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Good morning, sir. My name is Onguga Odumba. Morning.
Onguga Odumba.
Sir.
You are welcome.
Good morning, sir.
Yeah, good morning. Good
My
morning.
name is Asogo Nathaniel, sir.
Your name is
Asogo Nathaniel.
Asogo Nathaniel.
Yes, sir.
Okay, you are welcome.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Good morning, sir.
Yeah, good morning.
My name is Jigba Augustine.
Jigba Augustine, good morning.
Yes, sir. Good morning.
Welcome to the class. Yes.
Good morning, sir.
Yeah, good morning.
My name is Faya Teokosu.
Faya Teokosu.
Yes,
I guess this is the class rep, right?
Yes, sir.
You're welcome.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah. Yeah, any other person?
Good morning, sir.
Yeah, good morning.
My name is Edo Rosemary.
Okay,
My name is Edo
Rosemary.
Rosemary.
Good morning.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning. Yeah, so with a brief introduction, I think all of you who are here have actually introduced yourselves. Am I right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Yeah, so let's start in earnest. It seems my co-facilitator is not here yet. Maybe when he comes on board, he can talk to us, maybe say a word or so to us. Yeah, so as I told you earlier, I will be taking you in SST 817. SST 817. So what is the course all about? Any idea from anybody? Huh?
So all I can say is the course title is Communication Skills in Human Services.
Okay, yes. SST 817 is communication skills in human services, right?
Yes, sir.
Yes. So, you know, in every sphere of life, you find communication. In all the sectors, you find communication. That is to say that communication is actually an integral part of our lives. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Yes, so the communication we are trying to look at is not just communication, maybe communication to animals, communication to plants also. We are looking at communication skills in human services. Communication that actually has to do with humans, right?
Yes.
But before we proceed, do you know that apart from humans, communication can also take place maybe to objects and even non-living things? Do you know that?
Yes, sir.
We do.
We do.
Okay, fine. But then our primary aim in this course is actually to look at the communication skills as it pertains the humans. And so we are meeting in respect of SST 817, which is the communication skills in human services. It's actually a 2-credit unit course. And I told you earlier, you need to know that it is not just communication. It is communication skills in human services, not animals nor plants, right?
Yes, sir.
Yes. So these are the areas we'll be covering in this segment. We're going to look at communication for problem solving. We're going to look at professional helping. We're going to look at helping interview. We're going to look at the helping relationship, group interview techniques, and then the professional issues and all such related matters. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Is there any question so far?
No question so far, sir.
Okay. But before we actually proceed, communication is actually something that we engage in every day. And I told you earlier, it's found in all spheres of life. So before we proceed, can any of you maybe tell us what communication, generally what communication entails, or what communication is? Is there anyone who wants to give it a trial, just to tell us terms what communication is all about, in general terms?
Okay,
yeah.
sir. Let me try, sir.
Okay, Ajaka, please. Go ahead.
Good morning, sir.
Yeah, good morning.
Class. Communication in general terms is a passing of feelings, ideas from one person to another.
Okay, the passing of feelings from one person to another.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, that is correct.
Can
Yes,
I try, sir?
Manasseh, you are raising your hand too. Yes.
Yes, sir. Good morning, sir.
Yeah, good morning.
Communication generally is the passing of ideas, feelings, even gestures through a medium to another person with understanding. If there is no understanding, then communication has not taken place. But once that person understands and then gives a feedback for that person to get it that yes, that person has gotten what I want to communicate, then communication has taken place. Thank you, sir.
Okay, thank you very much. Yeah. So, okay. Sooner, yes. You want to give it a try?
Yes, sir.
Please go ahead.
Okay. In our understanding, communication is the transfer or transfer or exchange of ideas.
Hello.
One person usually involves feedback of understanding.
Okay.
Can I try?
Yes, please do.
Communication is a means of passing information through an individual, understanding verbal communication or non-verbally.
Oh, okay. Yes, all your views are actually correct. All your views are actually correct. It seems you actually have an idea of what communication is all about. But then one thing remains common in all your definitions. In all your definitions, you were trying to point out the fact that communication is actually the transfer or exchange of ideas from one person to another. So does it mean that communication can only take place between two or more persons?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, that is your own view about it. That communication must take place for communication to actually take place.
It's not. It can, with a single person, communication can still take place within a single person. It must not be between 2 or 3 persons.
Okay, yes. Yes, that is actually the point I want to stress here. Communication can actually take place between and within an individual, right?
Yes, sir.
And how do we call that kind of communication? Intrapersonal communication, right?
Yes.
Yes,
You know, at times somebody can be walking on the walkway just alone. and you see the person just talking seriously and then demonstrating. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, that is communication. At that point, we say that the person is actually soliloquizing, right?
Yes.
Yes, but it's actually communication. So for communication to actually take place, it mustn't always be between individuals. Communication can actually occur within just an individual. Is that clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay. I hope you are clear with that.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so for communication to actually be successful, there are certain skills the communicator needs to possess. In fact, for communication to be successful, it mustn't just be the communicator that should possess certain skills. Even the listener or the person receiving the information also needs to possess certain skills for the communication process to actually be successful. Because for communication to occur, there should be some level of communality between the individuals. All of them need to be on the what? On the same page. Is that clear? Are you with me?
Yes, sir. We are with you, sir.
Yeah, so all of them need to be on the same what? On the same page. And so it becomes very important for both the communicator and then the receiver of the message to actually possess certain skills to actually make the communication process effective. Is that clear? Is that clear?
Very clear, sir.
Very clear, sir.
Yeah, so one of such skill is that of what? Listening. Do you understand?
Yes, yes,
Yes, sir.
listening.
Yes. I said one of such skill is that of what?
Listening.
Listening. So what do you understand by listening here? So who actually does the listening here?
The person information.
The receiver of the communication does the listening.
The what?
The receiver of the communication does the listening.
The recipient. The recipient.
Okay, the recipient, the receiver, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, now, yeah, that is true. But then I want to let you know that in the communication process, it comes to a point that roles could be reversed. Do you understand that? Do you understand
Yes,
that?
sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah, in the communication process, it comes to a point that roles can actually be reversed at a point.
Reverse.
That is to say that the sender of the message becomes the receiver, and then the receiver becomes the one, the sender of the message.
The sender.
Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
And so each of them needs to have this skill, to possess this skill. Yes, as you are talking to somebody, it is expected that the person listens, right? It is expected that the person listens to you. Do you understand?
Yes, Yes.
But then, after listening to you, the person now in turn may need to actually give a reply to your message. What do we call that reply? In communication terms, what do we call that?
Feedback.
Okay, yes, feedback.
Feedback.
Yes, it's actually called a feedback. Yes, so as you are talking to somebody as the sender of the message, the person listens. At that time, you are actually the sender of the message. The person now listens to you. But then once you are done with your own discussion or so, the person now in turn, who was the receiver, now tries to respond to your own message. Do you understand? And we call that feedback. So at that point, the sender now have to listen. The sender now has to listen to what? To the person who was then the receiver. Because the receiver now has become the sender of the message, the communicator in this instance. Is that clear? Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Sir,
Yes, so...
Sir, excuse sir.
Okay, yes.
I didn't get it very clear. Sir, can you match your explanation with coding and decoding in communication so that I'll be able to comprehend?
Okay, yes.
Just
The
match
person
with coding and decoding, yeah.
Yes, the person giving out the message is what? Is trying to what? Encode the message, right? Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
Now, the person now receiving tries to decode the message. Do you understand?
No, sir.
Okay, I've told you that in the communication process, of course, we have elements of communication, right?
Yes, sir.
We have elements of communication. And the elements of communication, we have the sender or the communicator, right?
Yes,
we
sir.
have the receiver of the message. Then we have the message itself. We have the channel, right? Are you following?
Yes, sir.
So the sender of the message tries to encode the message. And now, as it's giving out the message, the receiver of the message tries to decode the message so that both of them would actually be on the same page. You know, I told you that in communication process, there is need to actually create that communal relationship between the parties involved. And it amounts to nothing if the message that is being given out by the sender of the message is not being decoded by the receiver. Is that clear? Are you following?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, Jiba, are you following?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so what we are trying to say is that in the communication parlance, we have the messages have to be encoded and then decoded so that that relationship, communal relationship, can be created among the parties involved in the communication process for the communication process to actually be effective. Is that clear? Are you following?
Continue, sir.
Yes, sir. We are following very well.
So, under the listening skill, we say that you need to listen to other parties to know their interests. And then you ask questions. You ask questions like why? Why not? And what if? So that the communication scenario can actually be understood. Do you understand? As much as possible, you need to use silence to demonstrate. That is, who now uses the silence here?
Hello, sir. Can you please increase the font size of your slide?
The listener. The listener.
Okay.
The receiver.
Yes. Sorry, the receiver, yes. The receiver actually listens. But then I told you that these roles could actually be swapped. It will come to a point that the sender of the message or the initiator of the message now becomes the what? Becomes the receiver. And at that point, he has to what? Listens. Is that clear?
Yes, sir. It's very clear.
Yeah, so you need to use silence to demonstrate that you are willing to listen or to help move the other side into a position to listen more effectively to you. Do you understand? So, two things here, listening and then silence. And all of this could actually be swapped in the communication process. Is that clear? Can we proceed?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Yeah, so
proceed, sir.
Another thing is trying to offer an apology where and when necessary or appropriate. Do you understand? That is to say that as the initiator or the sender of the message, you really need to be in tune with the receiver. You need to monitor the communication environment. As much as possible, you need to actually monitor to know how the receiver of the message feels. And if at any point you have actually gone against maybe the ethics in the communication scenario, there is need you offer an apology when and where necessary. So you need to stay in the present and the future because the past have already been what? Lived. So you need to look at the present and possibly maybe the future scenario, right? And that is where the issue of apology comes in. Because if there is need for you to offer an apology in the communication process, and then you fail to do that as a communicator, that can actually mar the success of such a communication process. So as much as possible, offering apology also is an important or an integral part of the communicator. And then even the receiver, maybe when the roles are being reversed also. But as much as possible, we need to know that offering apology is one of the basic skills that needs to be possessed by persons who are engaged in the communication process. So you need to look at the areas of agreement. You know, for any communication process, there are ethics. Do you understand? Are you following?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir,
Yeah,
we're
so
following.
yeah, there are always ethics in the communication process. So wherever you actually overrun the bounds or so, there is need for an apology to be offered. And so you need to look out for areas of agreement in the communication process so that you actually don't go outside it. Going outside that could actually mar the communication process. So you need to set the time for the next discussion. That is to say that you need to time your own communication. You know, there are times you may really need to pass across a very vital and important information. But then the timing may be wrong. And in such a case, the communication process may not actually be effective. It amounts to nothing if at the end of the day, nothing is being achieved in the communication process. One of the basic aims of going into a communication process is actually to what? To create impact or some changes. Do you understand? Is to create an impact. Somebody should be able to learn something new in a communication process or during a communication process. By the time that is not achieved, then such a communication process is not effective. I was saying that one of the basic things as a communicator to be mindful of is the timing. You need to be mindful of the timing. Because if you initiate a communication process at the wrong time, no matter how vital, no matter how good the information is, the listeners or your receivers may not actually have interest in it. And so the aim of such a communication process may be defeated. Is that clear? Do you understand that?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir, we do.
So if need arises, you need to take out time if the discussion deteriorates. That is to say that if at a particular point you see that maybe your audience, they are beginning to actually lose interest, you take out some time to actually gain their attention to it in the communication process. And you need to use mutual stating until a partyhood continues to feel misunderstood, feels understood appropriately. Do you understand? At any time you feel that your audience lose interest or they are not following, it is good for you to take out time to actually try to bring them back on board so that the communication process will actually be mutual, so that at the end of the day, the results in such a communication process could be achieved. Is that clear? Is that clear?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So you need to also state requests in behavioral terms. Don't ask for changes in attitude or feeling just to be different. Do you understand? As much as possible, if a communication process is well carried out, certainly at the end of the day, there could be changes in maybe behavior, skills, and even knowledge. Don't try to expect maybe instant changes in your recipients or your audience. You need to actually take it gradual with them. You need to give room for them to actually be engaged, and then communication process to actually be effective, so that at the end of the day, there could be changes in maybe behavior, knowledge, skills, and all of that. So consistently, you need to express verbal and body messages. Is that clear? You need to actually express what? The verbal and then body messages by actually demonstrating what you're talking about. You know, if it is a practical, if it is something that involves maybe some level of practicals, it will actually be good for you to what? To actually bring in the practical aspect of it to demonstrate, so that your audience will be able to actually follow exactly what you're talking about. Is that clear? Are you following?
We are, sir. We are.
Okay.
We are following.
So, if there are negative feelings, they must be expressed with the use of what? Words. But let me tell you that it is not in all cases that such feelings could be expressed with the use of words. In fact, at times in a communication scenario, if one decides to maybe use words at times to really express the feelings, it will actually mar the communication process. So at times, some signs or some maybe facial expressions or body expressions could actually be used. Is that clear? Is that clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes, so you also need to what? Show confidence in the process. You need to relax, use a good eye contact, and show what? And show interest. Let me tell you that a lot actually depends on the person giving out the message, the communicator, the sender of the message, the initiator. Do you understand? He needs to, first of all, actually show confidence in that communication process. He needs to show that level of confidence in the what? In the communication process, or else the audience may not actually be carried along. He also needs to actually relax. Communication, as much as possible, should not take place under a very tensed environment. As much as possible, you need to create a very conducive environment for the communication process to actually take place. Is that clear? So by the time you actually do all of this as a communicator or the initiator of the message, it goes a long way to actually carry the audience along and make the communication process effective. You also need to use good eye contact. You need, as much as possible, you need to use good eye contact for the receivers to actually say that you are actually carrying them along. Not that you are talking to somebody or some group of persons, then you just carry you are just looking very far away, showing the audience that, or maybe the person you are engaging in the communication process with, that maybe you don't even have interest in what you are saying, or you are absent-minded, or you are busy maybe thinking of something else. As much as possible, you need to use good eye contact. And that is why during presentations, even if it is a PowerPoint, it is not just good enough for you to face the PowerPoint projection. No, you need to constantly establish what? Good eye contact with your audience, so that they will know that you are actually carrying them along. And then you show that interest that is actually needed to actually carry the audience along. Is that clear? Is that clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Is there any question so far? Any question on what you have said so far?
Yes, sir.
Okay, please go ahead.
Okay. All what you have discussed here, sir,
Yes.
are constituents or ways by which if one is offended or insulted as a cause of communication, these are the methods that can be done or the gesture that should be exhibited in resolving conflicts of communication. Is that what you want us to know, sir? Being offer an apology where and when appropriate. Does it mean that's what you want us to understand, sir?
Okay. Partly that is what I want you to understand, but you need to know that all of this I'm talking about are actually skills that should be possessed by both the communicator and then the receivers of the message for the communication process to actually be effective.
Okay. That means some of us that are very hard in hearing, that means we can consider all these subheadings as what you have said, because it is your heading here has given some of us headache. That is why I decided to ask you that question. But now that you have explained, I think you have clarified my curiosity, sir. Thank you.
Okay, you're welcome. So basically, these are skills. These are skills that should be possessed by persons engaging in a communication relationship. Do you understand? Because I've told you that for communication process to be effective, a conducive environment needs to be created. And I've told you that in the course of the communication process, roles could be reversed such that the person who was the sender of the message becomes the receiver. The person who is the receiver becomes the sender of the message. Is that clear? So all of this I have talked about, they are actually skills that should be possessed by persons engaging in a communication relationship in order to actually bring about an effective communication scenario. Is that clear? Is that clear?
Yes, sir, it's clear, sir.
Okay, is there any other concern? You can actually maybe contribute, not just questions. You can also contribute where you feel you can. And we also learn from you. And then if you have questions, you are also free to ask so that we'll respond to it. So any question, any contribution? Is there any question or any contribution?
Yes, I have a small contribution, sir.
Okay, please go ahead.
Okay, now as you are dispensing these lectures to us, I think this is a sort of information dissemination.
Yes.
And the standard here is that when somebody wishes to speak, there should be a reaction from the class, and you will notice it from the other side that somebody wishes to speak and not just speaking randomly.
Yes.
So at the course of your discussion, we are just making noise. That means we are breaching these skills in communication. So as you have rightly guided us and given us the skills, we have come or understood that we have to be mannered in our presentation here. Otherwise, we may offend you as you are disseminating the information to us. And luckily, we may not comprehend to what you are dispensing to us. That's my contribution, sir. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. You know, I told you that as the communicator is actually giving out a message, it behoves on the listener or the receiver to actually listen. Do you understand? Now, that is why when I ask you whether you have any question or any contribution, at that point, I listen to you. Listen to you at that point. Do you understand? And that is
Yes,
why
sir.
I told you that in the communication process, it comes to a point that roles could actually be reversed.
Okay.
Yes, roles could be reversed. And that's why I gave you an example. As I was talking to you, trying to explain some concepts and all of that to you, you were listening. It's expected that you should be listening. In the same way, if I ask you any question and then maybe you are giving a response to it or any contribution, it behoves on me to listen to you. For the communication process to flow effectively, so that at the end of the day, results could be achieved from the communication process. It is not just enough to be engaged in the communication process. How effective is the communication process? And that's why I'm telling you that to ensure effectiveness of such communication process, both the sender, the receiver, all the parties involved in the communication process must possess these communication skills. Is that clear?
Yes, sir.
Or else that will actually mar the communication process. So it is actually not right, it is not correct that we are talking, we're having a conversation, we're having a class, and then at your own end, you'll be making noise. No, it is not correct. It is not right. It is not right. The same way, if you are talking, maybe I ask a question and maybe you are providing an answer or you are making a contribution or so, it's just polite for me to actually listen to you. That is how it should be. Anything short of that is not correct. Right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so any other question, any other person with any view to share, or we can proceed?
Like we that we are bad work since, and we came just down to meet the lecture going on, sir.
Okay, you are just joining us?
Yes, I'll be battling with, I'll be having challenge with network.
Network.
Okay,
Okay,
nice,
Silas.
sir. Just joining.
Okay.
So,
Sylvia.
I just joined the class, so I don't really know what is happening. Yes, sir.
Okay, Sylvia, welcome.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, it's okay. You just joined us. So we're actually trying to look at communication skills that must be possessed by the parties involved in the communication process to actually make the communication process effective. Yeah, so at least you join us from here, and then we move along. At least you follow from where you are meeting us. So let's proceed. So let's look at non-verbal communication. You know, communication can actually be verbal or non-verbal, right? So to persuade some persons in the communication process is also one important thing that the communicator needs to do. Do you understand?
Yeah.
So what is the persuasive ability of the communicator? Because most times, no matter how good maybe the information you are giving out is, there are some persons that if you don't persuade them, it will be difficult for them to actually be carried along or to actually maybe gain interest in what you are saying or what you are doing. So the persuasiveness of a message here depends on the facial expression. Do you understand? Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, to persuade persons here, I say that the first thing, it involves facial expression. That is the facial expressions here, and then maybe the movement and then the gestures. You know, when you are talking to somebody, your facial expression will actually point to the person that, oh, this thing you are talking about, there is actually something good in it. You try to arouse the interest of such a person. And what we are saying is that this depends largely on the facial expression. You know, when you are talking to somebody also, at a point, the person now, see the person, or maybe the facial expressions also, the person will say that, oh, you now giving out the information, the facial expression you give out will matter a lot. That maybe one, you are actually interested in what you are saying, you actually have interest in it, there is some sense in it, and all of that. And then the person receiving the message, you also try to read the person's facial expression. At a point, if you see that the person is not actually maybe having the interest again, it could be due to tiredness, maybe hunger, illness, and all of that, or maybe some other emotional issues. The person might actually be going through some emotional issues. So through facial expressions, you could be able to persuade persons. And then the gestures, you could be able to persuade the persons in the communication process. Then the voice communication, that is the tone. The tone would actually depict the kind of communication process, how effective it will be. How soft is the tone? Is the tone so harsh? These are things you actually need to look at. But then, let me tell you here, you know, tone at times may not just be when you're talking. Do you know that? Do you understand that?
Yes.
I'm saying that tone in the communication process may not just be during verbal communication when you are maybe saying words, as in the tone.
Yes.
No.
Maybe
For
giving
instance,
a wrong gesture.
Yes, the wrong gesture.
Writing.
Yes. Or maybe you are writing. Maybe it's a letter, right? It's a letter that you are writing. Right. Are we together?
Yeah, together, sir.
Yes, sir. We are.
Yeah, so what I'm saying is that the tone in communication process matters a lot. The tone here may not just be during a verbal communication. The tone here could even be maybe in writing. By the time maybe you are writing, for instance, maybe a letter to somebody, the kinds of words you use is the tone of such a letter. If the tone is so strong, it could be viewed differently, and that may actually mar the communication process. And so, for communication to actually be effective, especially the non-verbal communication, you need to be mindful of the tone that you use in the communication process. Is that clear?
Yes, sir.
So the voice communication, maybe the tone with which the message is conveyed, depicts confidence, depression, anger, or condensation. So the tone you use will depict that, oh, you lack confidence in what you are saying. Or maybe desperation. There is some level of desperation in maybe what you are saying. Or maybe there is some element of what? Anger in what you are saying. So as much as possible, the tone should be looked at so that the receivers of the message may not wrongly interpret the sender of such a message. If the right tone is being used, that will go a long way in actually carrying along the receivers or your own audience in the communication process. Is that clear?
Yes, sir.
Then we need to look at data communication. That is the actual meaning of words and any supporting information, facts, and figures. You know, when you are giving out information, you need to have your facts or figures ready. What is the essence of that? Of you having your facts or data ready in the communication process? Why is it so important?
Yes, sir.
So that you don't mislead the audience.
You do what?
You don't mislead the audience with your information.
Okay, yes. So that as much as possible, you don't mislead your audience. Not only that, not just misleading them, but having the facts with you or the data readily available with you could instill a very high level of what? Confidence.
Communication. Yes.
Yes, it could actually instill a high level of what? Confidence in your audience. Because they will say that you actually know what you are talking about. You have the facts, you have the data to support all that you are saying. So as much as possible, the necessary data, facts, and figures that are being needed in any communication process should be made available so that the communication process will flow seamlessly. Is that clear?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so any question? Is there any question?
There's no question, sir.
Okay.
No question, sir.
So what are other things that you can actually do to actually make communication process effective? You need to listen to each other and still have differences. And these characteristics may actually what? Apply during the communication process to actually make a communication process effective. You need to listen to understand. You need to what? Listen to what? Understand. And let me stress here that this could be both ways. As you are giving out information, your audience listens for them to get the understanding. Now, as they are actually replying back or giving feedback, you now, as the receiver, in this case now, you were the receiver, you were the sender of the message earlier. But as you are listening to the receivers who are now the senders of the message, you listen to them so that you listen and then you actually understand exactly what is going on. It is not just enough to continue talking. You know, there are some persons that have this trait that even when they are talking, somebody is listening. When the person now begins to talk, they will still be talking without even listening to the other party. It is not correct. When you listen, you actually what? Understand. Is that clear? Is that clear?
Yes, sir. Let's go on.
Yes, sir.
Hello? Are you there?
We are there, sir.
Well, with you.
Okay. So the second thing is that you need to accept what the other person is saying, whether it's true for him or her, and then respect their what? Their feelings. You see, in the communication process at times, there are times you feel that somebody is actually not giving you the correct information. Do you understand? But
Yes,
as
sir.
much as possible, you need to respect the other person by listening to them. You need to listen. It is not correct for you to, maybe when somebody is trying to air out his or her own views, for you now to just pop up your own discussion and then begin to tell the person, no, what you are saying is not true. It doesn't show any respect to such a person, and you may be hurting their feelings. So as much as possible, allow the other person to air out his or her own views. And when the person is done, you can now actually air your views. That, oh, this thing that you are saying, I feel that this can be done in so way. This can be done in this way. Rather than actually outrightly telling them that, oh, no, what you are saying is all lies, it's not true. That doesn't show any form of respect to their own feelings or personality at all. And as much as possible, all of this should be avoided. Is that clear? Is that clear?
Yes, sir.
So the next
Whether,
thing is,
Yes, sir.
whether the person is giving you wrong information or true information, you have to accept it. I don't understand.
That is not exactly what I'm saying. You know, I told you that in the communication process, there will be time for you to actually give feedback or talk back. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
So as somebody is talking to you, you listen.
Yeah.
When the person is done, you actually give response to what the person has been saying also. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
sir.
so what I'm saying is that,
sir.
okay,
I have
John,
a question,
please
sir.
go. John, please go ahead.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir. Thank you very much for the opportunity. You talked about the process of communications After outlining them, then we talk about what you can and you cannot, and then you talk about briefly that even when one is communicating with you, try to pass the message with you. If it is not passing the message properly, you should allow such person to pass the message before you react to that very person. Yes, it's quite understood, but don't you think in a process like that, don't you think that could be a barrier to communication process? Or let me put it this way, are there barriers?
A barrier?
Yes, are there barriers in communication process when the informations are not passing properly?
Okay, yes. Yeah, there could be barriers in the communication process at any point at all in the communication process. Is that clear?
Sir.
There could be barriers. Barrier will not just be in the message itself. Do you understand?
Yes, sir. Just a minute. Yes.
A barrier could even be maybe in the kind of the medium that is being used to actually carry out the communication process. Is that clear? If the wrong medium is being used, already that has posed a barrier in such a communication process. I think you know that.
Yes, sir.
So what I'm saying is that I'm not saying that, yes, even when somebody is giving you false, even when somebody is giving you a false information, you what? You take the wrong information. But what I'm saying is that as much as possible, there should be some level of respect that should be accorded in a communication process, such that even when you feel that the information being given out is not actually or totally accurate, also demands that there will be a time that you need to what? You need to give feedback. You need to react to such a message. Is that clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, because at times, the way you may actually interject in trying to maybe discard such information may actually not be in the best way. And that could actually maybe hurt the feelings of the other person also. So as much as possible, why not give the person the chance? And then when the person is done, you can now respond to such a message. It is true. You know, in communication, we can learn from each other. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
So at that point, when you are giving the feedback, the person can actually learn from you. That information which you felt was given out wrongly. Maybe, of course, that was the best the person knew, of course. You can't share what you don't have. Is it not so?
That's very true, sir.
It is, sir.
So, but after listening, you now respond. You may have a better understanding, better idea. Do you understand? Better idea of what you are talking about, of what the other person is saying. You may have a better idea. And so you first of all listen rather than interjecting, so that once the person is done, you can now come in to actually effect corrections and all of that. Yes. Madam, you could Madam,
Jigba, you are stopping us, please.
Jigba.
Please, are we together? Are we
Yes,
together?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. So, have I thrown much light on that on that question?
Yes, sir. Thank you very much. Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
Any other question or any other contribution?
Any question or contribution?
It's not for now.
Oh, okay. So, okay, the next point we're even looking at, respect for clarification. I think that explains what I was telling you about maybe somebody giving you, when you feel somebody is giving you wrong information and all of that. Yeah. Respect for clarification. Where you go ahead to maybe put records straight, to maybe clarify some issues. And this clarification, of course, could come from both ways. You know, we have different levels of understanding, maybe on the subject matter also. Now, what the other person was saying that that maybe you felt wasn't correct or you didn't understand, the person can actually maybe give some clarifications, or you can give clarifications to all you have told maybe somebody which you felt maybe the person could not maybe understand in some ways and all of that. So there is room for what? That clarification. And as much as possible, it should be done with some level of respect. Then you need to feel a point of what? Agreement. Feel a point of what? Agreement. Do you understand that point? Feel a point of agreement. Do you understand that in the communication process?
No, sir.
No, sir.
No, sir.
Okay. You know, in a communication process, you may actually have a theme that you are looking at, or the subject matter that you are looking at. And such a communication process is being guided by rules and regulations. And if it is maybe a topic that has maybe some maybe legal terms around it, you need to agree on the terms. Do you understand? So that as much as possible, you know that the communication process is taking place within the terms of such an agreement. I don't know whether you understand what I'm saying here.
We're getting you.
Yes. So you need to feel a point of agreement where there has to be a convergence between the sender of the message and then the receivers. Where there is no point of agreement, it becomes so difficult because it could be maybe from one argument to another. Please, can we mute ourselves, please?
Manasseh,
mute your mic.
You are disturbing us. You and Jimba. What is this now?
Yes, so you need to feel that point of agreement where both of you can actually be aiming at to actually make the communication process effective. You also need to state or restate your own opinion. As much as possible as the communication proceeds, you need to continue to state or restate your opinion on the subject matter. What is your own position? You make your own position known. It is when you make your own position known by actually emphasizing it at different times in the communication process that the person actually listening to you will understand. The same way, the person now who was the receiver that may become maybe the sender of the message now, you also, he or she too will have to actually state and then continue to restate his or her own opinion so that all of you, as much as possible, will be on the same page. Is that clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So you also need to acknowledge another statement and state that I will give it a what? Serious consideration before I take further what? Action. At times, it is not just good for you to outrightly tell somebody that I know this thing that you are saying is wrong. I can't go with that. There are so many polite ways of going about it. You can just tell somebody that, okay, well, let me I will give a second thought to it. I will take a second look at it. Do you understand? It's just a very polite way of telling somebody that, oh, you really need to cross-check the information that the person has given you and all of that. You need to listen carefully and respect what you heard. You know, we are talking about communication in human services. You know, when you go to organizations, you know, most organizations, they have, what is it called? There's a department that actually attends to maybe visitors and all of that.
Protocol. Protocol.
Well, it varies. Protocol.
Receptionist.
Receptionist, yeah. Sorry? The other person is mentioning another one. Which one?
Public
Yes.
relations.
Public relations. Yes. So as much as possible, you need to what? You need to listen carefully and then respect what you have heard. It's a very vital issue in communication, in human communication, especially in some organizations. For instance, maybe as a medical doctor, it is not correct for a patient who is your client that after maybe interrogating the person also, you now go ahead to now start sharing the information with people. It is not correct. As much as possible, you need to listen carefully, and then you need to respect what you hear from your clients. As much as possible, you need to observe this. And that is why in most organizations, some people that work in these departments, maybe the receptionist, protocol, and all of that, some even take oath of what? Secrecy. I think you know that. Are you there?
Yes, sir.
Yes. Because
yes, sir.
it will become a different ball game altogether. By the time what somebody has shared with you in confidence, you now go ahead broadcasting it. It becomes a legal issue that may cost you as an individual and may also cost your own entire organization. So as much as possible, you need to what? You need to listen carefully to your clients, and it is not just enough for you to listen. After listening to them, you need to respect their own views. You need to actually hold it in confidence. Moreover, the person might be talking to you in confidence, and as such, you should be able to maintain that confidence, that level of confidence being proposed in you. Is that clear?
Yes, sir.
Any question or contribution? Is there any question or any contribution?
No, there's no question on my side here.
Okay. So another thing you need to do, you need to ask to fully what? Understand. You need to ask to fully what? Understand. You are talking to somebody, maybe as a client. I gave you an example, or maybe a medical doctor in the hospital. Now you are talking to a client. If there is anything you don't understand, there is need, you need to ask questions. Or maybe you are out there in the field as a development worker, and then you have asked the people in the community, maybe during a stakeholder engagement, you need to what? You need to ask questions. You need to probe so that you fully understand what their position is. You know, one of the major problems in communication is that the receiver may be assuming something different, as in the response of the receivers. What the receiver is actually, what the sender of the message is assuming the receiver maybe understands may actually be different. So as much as possible, you need to probe so that all of you will actually be on the what? On the same page. You can only do that when you ask questions. Is that clear? Then after all of this, you need to say thank you to your what? Your audience for actually giving you the time, all the time and all of that. You know, it is not a right. For instance, if you go out to the field to actually maybe interview some persons also, it is not just about you interviewing them. They may choose not to actually give you their time. Is that clear? They may choose not to give you their own what? Their own time. So for the fact that they have given you audience, that they have given you their time, they would have been using that time to do something else and all of that, but they gave you the time. That alone, courtesy demands you actually what? You actually appreciate them. It is very important in communication. Is that clear? And so when you are giving feedback, you need to what? Separate the behavior from the what? From the person. When you are what? When you are giving what? Feedback, you need to separate the behavior from the person. Now, I don't know whether you understand that point. I said that when you are giving feedback, you need to separate behavior from the what? From the person. You need to separate behavior from what? From the person.
So how?
Okay, you don't understand that.
Don't understand.
Yes. You know, there are times somebody will maybe once somebody wants to talk, we say that, oh, well, what I'm going to say, you can disregard what I'm saying, but not my personality. I don't know whether you understand that.
I'm getting you, sir.
Okay, sir.
So what we are trying to say here is that don't necessarily look at the behavior of such a person. Okay. Don't look at the behavior, but look at the person himself or herself. Has the person actually maybe understood the point you were trying to make, or the person did not actually, or you were not even carrying them, the parties or your audience along the communication process. So as much as possible, it is not the kind of behavior any of them exhibited, right? It is not just behavior any of them exhibited, but then you need to look at them as their own personality as a person, not just their own behavior.
Okay.
Because
so I have a question there.
Okay, please go ahead.
Okay. We are being told that communication involves both verbal and non-verbal. The non-verbal has to do with gestures and all of that. So if you say that at some point we need to ignore the behavior of the person, and then while communicating, the person puts up an unwelcoming behavior, maybe for us in Africa, or in this part of Nigeria, for instance, you don't talk with your elders, with your hands in your pocket, and all of that. Now, if in the process of maybe a stakeholders engagement or some other forum, you engage people in conversation, and then you put up these behaviors, or maybe you are even talking with a group of people, you are out for maybe project development, you have stakeholders engagement, then you are busy pressing your phone while talking to the people. Both of them, in my own assessment, they are actually communications. So it's a way of telling the people that this thing I'm saying also doesn't matter. So if you say we should not look at the behavior, I am a bit confused. Could you please, considering what I've said, throw more light on that point, please?
Okay. You know, earlier I told you that there is every need at any level of communication for you to actually create or arouse interest in your audience. Now, you are talking to your audience, and then you discover that most of them, maybe they are pressing their phones, busy doing other things or so. Yes, you need to look for ways of trying to see how you can actually create that interest, arouse that interest in what you are saying, rather than maybe taking it that, oh, no, this person or this group of people, they are serious persons. No. That is why I'm saying that you need to separate the behavior from the personality. Do you understand?
Yes.
Yes. By the time you separate the behavior, yes, the behavior is that they are showing you that they are not interested. But then you should even be bothered. What has made them not to be interested? What has made such a person not to be interested? That could be a lot of factors.
What is it showing? Click. Enter full screen. That's
Are we together?
The nation is showing.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Yeah, so you need to, as much as possible, you need to separate the what? You need to separate the behavior. Please, can you mute yourselves? Let's have one class. Please. Somebody has asked a question which I'm trying to answer and give some explanations to it. Please, let's have one class. So, as I was saying, it is very important for you to actually separate the behavior from the person, in that the behavior one is putting up in the communication process may actually be as a result of certain factors. And there is need for you to actually care to know what the issues are in such a communication process. Do you understand?
Yes,
Do you understand? So there is every need for you to know. It is not that the person is bad. That is the way of life of such a person or such people. No. It could be because of maybe some factors or so. Maybe the time is not convenient, the timing is not right. Maybe they are hungry, the environment is not so conducive, there is excessive heat and all of this. These are issues that could actually maybe affect some persons in the communication process. And that's why I say that as much as possible, you need to separate the behavior from the person. Don't just attach a particular behavior for the fact that Mr. A is behaving in the morning like this in the communication process. Does not mean that is the same way that Mr. A will behave in the communication process in the evening. Do you understand?
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
So, have I tried to explain your question or answer your question?
See, I
Yes,
didn't
sir, you have.
understand though. For me, I didn't understand.
Okay. So was it? You don't understand?
Yes, sir. I didn't understand that point separation.
You don't understand the question. Or the...
I don't understand separating behavior from the person. I didn't understand the point.
Oh, okay.
I
Let
didn't just
me
get
explain.
it.
Sir, can I explain?
Okay, no, don't worry. Let me explain to her again.
Okay, sir.
Okay, so this is what I'm saying. I'm saying that in communication, it's very important for us to actually separate behavior from the person. In that, for the fact that someone is behaving in the communication process in the morning like this, Mr. A, for the fact that he's behaving in a certain way in the communication process in the morning would not mean that that is the same way the person will behave in the evening. And such behavior the person is putting up at that particular time could be due to maybe several factors or reasons. And so if we use the behavior to actually judge the person in that communication scenario, you might be wrong. You might take it that, oh, that person is not a serious person. Because when I was talking to the person was pressing phone, the person was trying to answer calls and all of that. You wouldn't know whether such a call is actually an emergency and all of that. It's not as if the person has actually chosen deliberately not to give attention to the communication process. No, it is because of the prevailing condition at that moment. Because of the what? The emergency he or she had to answer that call. And so by the time you separate the behavior from the person, you get a clearer picture and a better picture of such a person in the communication process. Or else, you may give a very wrong conclusion about such a person, which might not actually be the person. Is that clear?
Let me be doing it now.
Okay, sir. Excuse
do you
me,
understand
sir.
it?
Excuse me, sir. I understand your explanation, but
Okay.
if in case if you approach the person about 2 or 3 times and the person does the same thing, how do you handle it? How can
Oh, there's so much noise.
Hello, sir.
Okay, yes.
I say I understand your explanation, but for instance, if I approach someone and the person put on the same behavior, I also approach him another day and he put the same behavior. So how can I separate the behavior from the person at this point in time?
Yes, I've told you, yes. It is very possible that such a behavior could repeat itself several times, several days. You understand? But what I'm saying is that the behavior one put up at the time could actually is just not enough to actually define such a person. Do you understand? The behavior of someone most times is not just enough to define such a person at different times, because conditions could differ or change, or there could be different scenarios. And such a person may actually put up a different behavior from the one you were actually suspecting maybe he or she has, or that is inherent in him or her. So as much as possible, it is good for you to actually...
So this one may not be...
separate the behavior and then the personality of someone. Because the behavior arises due to several factors, different factors, which could be numerous. But then the personality, one's personality actually always stands. Do you understand? Whereas behavior may change from time to time. So for the fact that the person has done the same thing today, done the same thing tomorrow, also, that does not mean maybe the person cannot behave the other way. And then you must use that behavior to actually judge the person. So there is, human beings, there is room for change. And that change could occur at any time. Is that clear? Is that clear?
Yes, sir.
Excuse me, sir. Excuse me, sir.
Yes.
Can you mute Prof Mike is giving us background?
Sorry?
Can we make this
mute? The background is the one making the noise.
Okay.
And the prof left my phone.
Take care of that guy.
Yes.
So, but are we done with that? Are you clear with that now? Are you clear with that now?
Yes, sir. We're clear with your point.
Okay. I think we have my co-facilitator is here. I don't know whether he may want to say a word to us. Professor Ayan Owoku. I think he's with us here now.
So we are listening.
Hello, Prof. Yes, I think Prof is with us. He's on now.
Yeah.
Prof, do you want to say a word to us? Oh, okay. All right.
But the distance is on.
Okay. Okay. Hello, Prof. Hello, Prof. Good morning.
I want to be careful now that
Hello, Prof.
This one is
having issues with his network.
There's anything.
Prof is online, but he left his mic on, so he's not listening.
Okay, it's all right. So the next thing is that we need to be specific and factual by describing how you feel. Yes, in the communication process, you need to be specific. As much as possible, generalizations should be curtailed to minimal levels. And you need to be factual. Not just saying things that are not really so obtainable. You need to describe how the communication scenario, how it affects you. You need to be sensitive and be respectful. I've mentioned that earlier. You need to present feedback as a gift, then leave leave it behind. Do you understand that? You need to present what? Feedback as a gift. You need to present it as a gift and then leave it behind. Do you understand that?
No, sir. Please explain it to us.
I appreciate him for that.
Yeah, you know, in any communication process.
Okay, are you on video?
It's like a Prof is back.
Hello,
Prof. Hello, Prof. Good morning.
Once in a while, do it so that.
Hello, Prof. Oh, okay.
You want me to say something?
Okay. Okay. Yeah, so I was saying that you need to leave feedback as a gift behind, right? Are you with me? Hello?
Yes, sir. You were trying to explain it to us, leaving feedback behind.
Oh, okay, yes. Yes. You know, it is not just enough to engage in the communication process, but as much as possible for you to know that any communication process has been effective or communication scenario has been effective is when you give room for feedback so that the person listening or your own audience could actually tell you that this is what they understood or this was what they picked from what you were saying, or this was what they could not understand. So as much as possible, feedback is an integral part of any communication process. For you to actually know that any communication process, if it's effective, feedback must be maintained. Is that clear? Is that clear?
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Yes. So any question, any contribution? Is there any question or any contribution?
My hand is up, sir.
Okay, yes, Lucy, go ahead.
In communication, gestures are very, very important.
Sorry, in communication what?
I say in communication, gestures are very important.
Yes, yes, sure, yes.
And you know, in the African society, I'm not supposed to be talking to an elder and looking them straight in the face.
Yes.
But in civilized climes, they expect that to show that you are being truthful about what you are saying, you should look them straight in the face.
Yes.
So I'm saying in communication, the cultural differences also bring to bear in communication for it to be effective. Because if you are talking to a white person and then your eye is down, they say, aha, this person is lying, or the person is not confident.
Okay, yes. You see, that I told you, any communication process, there could be what? There could be hindrances for such a communication process to be effective. And the cultural barrier could just be one of them. Do you understand? The cultural barrier is just one of them. Yes, it's expected that, at least in the African context, that you are talking to somebody, especially your elder, you don't look your elder right in his eyes or so. But then, that is just the way to go. Ideally, that is the way to go. But then, culturally, that may not be compatible. But it's actually one of the barriers in communication. You know, cultural issues could actually form barriers in communication. It's just one of it. But as much as possible, it's good to actually establish eye contact. That instills some level of confidence and credibility in what you are saying. Is that clear? Is that clear?
Yes, sir.
Hello?
Yes. Yes, sir.
Okay. So is there any other question? Any other question? Okay. So silence means no further question for today, for now.
Sir, I want to affirm, sir.
Yes.
So, in affirmation to what we have discussed here for the past 1 or 30 minutes, we are meant to understand that all what you have discussed here are the qualities of good communication.
Yes. Yes. To ensure effective communication. Yes.
Effective. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you,
Yes.
sir. Okay. Thank
All right.
you, sir.
So I think we wind up this class now for today. So we'll pick it up from there as from tomorrow, 10 o'clock.
Thank you.
Okay,
sir.
so
Thank you, sir.
yeah, thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, you're welcome. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir.
You're welcome. Thanks.
Thank you
Thanks
so
for,
much.
Thanks for the time.
The communication was effective, sir.
Okay, thank you. I appreciate that, your feedback. Thank you.
Yes.
So, see you tomorrow.
All right, sir. You're the host. You can end the class.
Yes.